Hey everyone, I'm Will Corkin, Director of Consulting and Strategy from Trade.io, joined here today with Pascal Lauria, CEO and co-founder of CoinAnalyst. Want to kind of talk to you a little bit more about today, CoinAnalyst and the blockchain and crypto space in general. This space, being a retail investor, even institutional investor, it's very speculative and very difficult sometimes to decide what's a good investment and what is not. With everything from fake news and scams coming out, it's hard to tell what is the real data to pull from, what is the real news. So I guess with this in mind, can you kind of tell us a little bit more about CoinAnalyst and how your AI and algorithmic method of aggregating data sources will help both the retail institutional investors kind of going forward in looking at information in the space, which can be very difficult to determine what's right and what's wrong.
Okay. Number one, so thank you very much to invite me here and to share this opportunity about us sharing about the CoinAnalyst. Basically, maybe just as a little background, how did we come up and how did this all develop? We as CoinAnalyst exist just a year. But we are at a reverse ICO, so we are building up on an 8-year history as we are a spin-off of Corkin. Corkin is a big data AI company specialized in customer satisfaction, and we are catering to Fortune 500 companies like BMW, Volkswagen, and Lufthansa. So how did this all come up? It actually came up over a beer. I'm from Germany, so I guess that makes sense. So I was like hanging out, and it was last June, and the people last June, and the people there, my friends there, were sharing with me the exciting, gains in cryptocurrency. Like one of them, 21 years old, was a crypto millionaire suddenly. Pretty impressive, right?
And that was at the height of everything.
Yeah. So everybody was making money, and I'm like Mr. AI, totally focused on what I'm doing. Was totally like the outsider, and a little bit the loser at the circle, right? So after like this evening went on, and me being quiet and listening, of course, they were sharing with me the problem. So the number one problem they had is that it takes a lot of time, a lot of research to understand which projects to invest in, right? And actually right now we have 2,000 cryptocurrencies at CoinMarketCap. Like it's very difficult to have an oversight of all the projects. And what's funny is just a couple of weeks ago I was in Singapore at the World Blockchain Summit, and CC, the founder of Binance, forecasted we're going to have millions of cryptocurrency, so it's going to get worse. And basically that was the one problem they were saying. Then the second problem was, because most of them are actually millennials, guys, a little bit more technical, up to 35 years. That's like the sweet spot currently. We hope the adoption will go to much further, right? A bigger market.
Absolutely.
But they never traded, most of them never traded a stock in their life before. Never, right? So that's the first time suddenly you go from 0 to 100, like an unregulated, hardcore market.
Right.
And basically they could not relax. They had to constantly look at their smartphone. Like even at the bio break in the middle of the night, they had to quick look at the smartphone. On the weekends, they were constantly on the smartphone, and they got in trouble from the girlfriends, like with the girlfriends. And funny enough, a friend of a friend even got a nervous breakdown. So that was the second problem. And then the third problem was they were kind of scared of investing in scams. I'm not sure if you ever heard about BitConnect and some crazy scams. Well, that kind of got them scared that they might get scammed. So that was the third problem. So that was my moment after that where I raised my hand and said, hey guys, you know what I do, right? I do big data AI. I can help you. I can solve this problem with a product. So I digged in, and then I saw this is an amazing market already. We have 20 million crypto traders right now. We have 100 million FX traders, and we have 4 billion people online. We believe the FX traders will come very soon and all get into crypto, and eventually everybody's going to have a token. So the market is going to be tremendous, because once you have a token, you also want to somehow get rid of it, and you will use a secondary market. Those exchanges will be used, and for that you need a tool. It's not possible to do this manually anymore, and that is the problem that we try to solve from the very beginning. And that's it. That's how we're coming from. So we're actually a big data AI company trying to help the crypto space.
And if it's right now with 2,000 different cryptos and tokens on the market, what's it going to be like when there's millions?
I know. It's
So
really
unless
nuts.
someone like yourself comes in or
Yeah,
has
absolutely.
these solutions, again, you can't. Even now, it's impossible to do manually.
Absolutely.
And there's just there's a lot more in terms of kind of what needs to be done.
Yeah, so maybe I can share also a little bit about the technology, how we're doing this. Would that be of interest?
Absolutely, yeah. No, would love to hear more about kind of how it would work for your side, and you've kind of made this point to say that you want to become the Bloomberg of crypto.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess a little bit more about how it would work from your end in terms of what you're actually building and constructing, and then how that'll develop into this Bloomberg for crypto.
Okay. Yeah, so basically, I mean, that's our vision. We really want to be the Bloomberg for crypto. And Bloomberg is, for people who don't know, Bloomberg is like the leading information provider worldwide for traders in the classical market. And we want to be the Bloomberg for crypto and ICOs, but not just for the elite and institutionals, but also for the people. Because, I mean, this came up through a beer. I mean, I want to help my friends. I want them to use my solution, and I want to sell and make profits with a purpose, right? What's better than making money with a real good purpose, right?
Yeah.
So basically, that's what I've tried to do. The situation right now is that the cryptocurrencies are all projects that don't have a track record yet and don't do yet like revenues. So the price earning ratio that is very critical for stocks is missing right now.
Yeah.
So it actually the importance of news, rumors, and stuff like that is tremendous, and it just got overproportionate importance. So we want to be the Bloomberg for crypto by helping the small investors, the casual investors. These 20 million out of those 99% are casual investors. Those people to save their time by having a solution, a dashboard that gives them quickly an oversight on their investments, how and what are people talking about their projects, and what's the sentiment about the project. Because if people are now saying negative things and it's getting a negative sentiment with the project, you can be sure that the price actually is correlated to that, and you will have a price going down. So that's one way how we want to help the people, by helping them identify what's the market mood per project on a macro level.
Yep.
Secondly, with our big data and AI combination, we'll try to use the AI to help you identify the relevant documents. So we want to work on that to be able to actually give you more relevant documents, so that you can actually just look at the relevant stuff and save you time there as well. So we quickly have the oversight, what is relevant for me to know about my investments.
Yep.
So I want to save you time, and that's another purpose what I'm trying to do as a Bloomberg, right?
Yep.
Because the Bloomberg actually give you an information advantage, because they try to give you information before the rest, like a couple seconds or whatever it is. So they give you that. So I'm trying to give you that information advantage based on the open source space, on the open source available data, analyzing that automatically and giving you that as early as possible.
Okay.
And that's the second piece. And the third thing is that differentiates me a little bit from the Bloomberg is I want to also protect you, because we are actually talking of a global market. That makes it very exciting. The whole blockchain is really a global thing.
Absolutely.
So that's the first thing that's totally amazing, and in that sense. So it unites us also in that sense, also globally. And due to that, we have many countries, most countries without regulations. Regulations will come slowly but surely. During that wild west time, so I find that it's like the wild west of the US. Definitely. Right? We're having the US wild west times, and now we need a solution like us that also protects the people by being like the Bloomberg with the sheriff style. So that's the first thing what we did is we developed a scam detector, analyzing existing scams like BitConnect and others. We created very efficient, statistical methods and thresholds using sentiment and a small, it's called an ontology on scam, just defining all the synonyms to that. And if thresholds are broken, you get alerted. You get your top, 10 or 20 comments about those scams, and then you can think. Comments. Is it valid or is it just trolls? But if I give you 3 weeks in a row a scam alert, you should reconsider your investment.
Absolutely.
That's one thing. And the second thing is we're the first to actually introduce a fake news detector. We noticed that even the big guys in the space, I don't want to mention any names, are trying to manipulate the market with fake news through cheap news channels, trying to spread it in, right? Also that is something we wanted to protect. So that's what we did, and that makes us very unique that we had that security angle from the very beginning.
and that kind of played into my last question. So you're becoming the Bloomberg, but also, as the T-shirt indicates, the Batman and sheriff of the space
absolutely.
as well. Trying to protect both the retail as well as the institutional. Because
absolutely.
Again, in a space where fake news is this big social media buzz, but I mean in this space it's more so than ever because the sentiment drives the market.
Absolutely.
Most of the time. So with something like that, it'll be very, very helpful.
I mean, I don't want to hide that it's a big challenge, and to do the fake news detection very solid, it's going to take time. We have an AI algorithm that learns, but the more successful we are, the more feedback you guys give us, in telling us what is a fake news, the system learns. So the more successful we are, the better and sharper we get.
Absolutely.
With that detection.
And that's where the community comes in to
Absolutely.
help as well.
So I want you guys to, all become MVP testers and help us make an amazing product. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for joining us. I guess, how can us as, investors or people excited in the space find out a bit more about yourself?
Awesome. Yeah. We have a Telegram group. It's called, CoinAnalyst, and we also have a website, CoinAnalyst.Tech. We are running right now our ICO, so you can join and help us support building an amazing product, but also help us support to have the funding for the growth expansion. We really want to have a strong focus on Asia. I think Asia is a very important market for us. And that means we got to go deep and strong also in the Asian languages. So right now we're strong in English and the European languages, but we want to be able to deliver that also in Japanese, in Chinese, simplified, traditional, and Korean. All these kind of languages, Vietnamese, Thai are also in the pipe. We really want to cater that and help you also with the local input, right?
And really make it a global company.
Absolutely. That's why Bloomberg. So we got to run fast, put the flags everywhere like in the Wild Wild West and say, that land is mine and that land is mine. So that's the idea.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today and kind of sharing a bit more, and look
great.
forward to continuing to work with you and
Awesome.
follow the project and see what we can build as a global community. Right?
I would love it. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Take care.